What's going on, guys? Black Scout Survival, Late Night Live. Thanks for hanging out with me. So the FBI has showed their true colors. So FBI marched in West Hollywood Pride Parade. At least a dozen uniformed officers carrying handguns and everything. FBI Pride shirts and you name it. Now, this is the same FBI that investigated parents for protesting the grooming of their children. And meanwhile, I've seen full-blown nudity. I think it was Elon that posted the other day, and he blurred it out. But full-blown nudity at some of these pride parades where children were there. That's against the law. However, the FBI is on board with it, I guess, in the presence of children. I'm talking about roots out, guys. And but this is the first time that FBI has been involved with pride. You see, I went to Google and searched the various images, and just over the years, apparently they've been involved in these things. Okay, now here's the video that's been circling the web here. Now, if we take it back, I mean, look at this, an FBI pride shirt. Now, apparently, like I said, this has not been the first time. Bureaus of employees have been in California's pride celebration since talking about July 2019 in San Diego, and also during a pride month in 2023 in San Francisco. Now, the FBI was asked to comment about, and I'm going to turn on the volume while I play this again, so if you're just getting on here, comment as the policy regarding employees taking political advocacy and whether it was concerned about alienating some Americans. And obviously the FBI did not respond, but this is a political statement at this point. We know that's nothing, we know this is a leftist deal, and people don't trust the government agencies or entities right now anyway, especially the DOJ. So someone on the executive branch policy said that FBI agents' behavior is an abuse of their positions. So we're talking about socially liberal priorities, especially on sexuality and gender, are very divisive and really irrelevant to the mission of the FBI. I think we can all agree on that. And the reason that these agents wore their FBI gear to the parade is to identify that their employer, the FBI, with their political views, that they agree with the left, that they are a leftist organization, and they favor that view as an organization over conservative values or views. Now, this is what I'll consider abuse of position, and it further blemishes the FBI, and who already has a tarnished reputation with the populace. We've seen time and time again them being weaponized against Americans, kicking in doors of conservative. They're always conservatives. And this type of stuff, if you've studied history, has happened to various countries in decline across the world where a tyrannical government takes over, where they will target political rivals down even to the smallest level, making memes. We talk about that constantly, because I just think it's so egregious that would even happen. But the thing is you're looking at an organization that is out there participating in a very leftist, in the military, you can't do that kind of stuff in uniform. So as a department, they should say, well, you shouldn't do that stuff in uniform. Shouldn't be walking out there with a badge and a gun, right? Now, this participation happening on Sunday comes just after that Joe Biden warned of possible security threats, Joe Biden's administration, I should say, of FBI DHS warns 2024 Pride events could be targeted by foreign terrorist groups. So They posted a bunch of statements last month from the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, warning the State Department, urging that foreign terrorist activity could be directed at LGBTQ related gatherings. Now, if they're trying to use that as a reason for being there, then it should have been more in an official, in my opinion, a more official or even just professional capacity, instead of marching and taking part in this, right? And holding the pride flag. Now, we've seen since 2020, essentially, that Americans who have burned or the pride flag, they would be arrested for a hate crime. The one kid who did a burnout on the pride painted road was arrested. However, you can burn the American flag with no recourse. And this has happened under the Biden administration. So again, this furthers the stance that this is a leftist movement. Again, if they're trying to use this as, hey, we warn of a threat, well, they shouldn't be taking part in that celebration. Okay. Now, it's not only the FBI though. There's other organizations around the country, and I'm sorry for this video. I didn't cut it, but you see here that they've got the freaking police vehicle painted with a pride flag here. Let me cut the volume. Right, they're painted with a pride flag. And then you see the various officers, excuse me, walking with pride flags in the parade. I mean, there's even, if you go Google this stuff, guys, there is tons of law enforcement that is involved in these parades. Again, I think that anytime you take a stance, and when you're talking about someone's sexual orientation, like just from a personal perspective, I don't think that should be your identity. You know what I mean? Who you actually are should be your identity, right? It's kind of like, you see a lot of veterans, how they take their service as their complete identity. Like they're that, or your high school quarterback that won a championship. He's that for the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, be you. Be you. You don't have to be part of some group to say that this is now my identity. I just don't think that's the way to go, But I played that video. You saw that. And I talked a lot about Yuri Bezmenov over the years, and he talks about ideological subversion. And I think this is part of that play. And what Yuri says is that subversion refers to the process by which the values and principles of the established system are contradicted or reversed in an attempt to sabotage the existing social order and its structures of power, authority, tradition, hierarchy, and social norms. It involves a systemic attempt to overthrow or undermine a government or political system, often carried out by persons working secretly within. Subversion is used as a tool to achieve political goals because it generally carries less risk, cost, and difficulty as opposed to open belligerency. The act of subversion can lead to the destruction or damage of established system of government. In the context of ideological subversion, subversion aims to gradually change the perception and values of society, ultimately leading to the undermining in its existing system and beliefs. Now, I'm going to give a few examples of that. Now, Yuri Bezmenov, if you're not familiar with him, he was part of the KGB, and he talked about how America or foreign countries will be destroyed from the inside. And it takes, anywhere from 20 to 30 years. And I think we're on that path. We're close to the end of that. A lot of times things starts out very early. It starts out in colleges where they're indoctrinating young, impressionable people. Go ask college kid, they're for communism and such. But what they do is that they'll get a lot of people to agree with the same thing. So, for example, and we'll talk about this in a moment, but I'm going to show a video about the Palestine protesters. It's like a lot of, now you see a lot of leftists and a lot of conservatives that are pro-Palestine. You see a lot of conservatives that are anti-police, anti-cop, and you had the left screaming, defund the police. And that was a breakdown of the trust of law enforcement, right? You see that stuff all the time. because they've been abused from within. Now, I'm not talking about the cops on the street, from the top, where when in 2020, when you saw these riots and such, that police would just stand around and not do anything about it. However, they'll go arrest a conservative. You see the DOJ, the FBI, who will go do no-knock raids on conservatives. So a distrust in law enforcement, and that is actually specifically stated in Yuri Besimov's system of the destruction of a foreign country. So essentially what you're looking at is all moral constraints can be given up in pursuit of just and virtuous causes, like what we see now. And every store in America's got these flags in them, right? Now, check out this liberal getting schooled on Islam.
With Israel and Palestine.
Would you say you're pro-Palestine or pro-Israel?
Pro-Palestine.
As a gay man, I would be punished and or put in prison or killed if I were openly gay in Palestine. How do you react to that?
I didn't know that. So
it is illegal to be gay in Palestine. You are punished by prison or death.
Israel?
No, Israel has gay pride. Israel is completely open to lesbian and gay people. So Palestine puts them in prison or kills them. You weren't aware of that?
I was not aware of that, no. So that does pose an interesting aspect.
Have you seen the Queers for Palestine movement? It's a very common movement, but I don't see any Muslims for Queer movements.
Yes. That's where it gets gray, right? Like, that's where I feel
well,
like...
for me, it's not gray. I am fearful of Islam because there is no Islamic country on earth that embraces me as a gay man.
So, okay, so maybe I'm confused because Israel, which is still an Islam country, right?
No, Jewish.
Okay.
So Israel's Jewish.
I mean, imagine getting schooled by a guy dressed as a princess. The left are funny. They're funny. But anyway, so she studied the Middle East, but doesn't know Israel is not a Muslim state. She said that at the beginning of the thing, but I think it's hilarious. Now you can see that even amongst like-minded groups, they're fighting. You see that in the left. When I showed the other day that the Free Palestine folks were sabotaging the Pride Parade, you see that amongst conservatives. So a lot of this is like what Yuri Besimov said. And somebody commented that we don't have a lot of viewers at this time, and usually have like over 1,000, 2,000 by now. And it's absolutely true. I think because the FBI, because I had it in a title, and they probably don't like that. Anyway, let's change gears just for a moment, because Joe Biden, trying to save face, he issued an executive order that will prohibit migrants who illegally cross the southern border from seeking asylum when the daily average encounters have exceeded 2,500. Now, you could seek asylum within 2 feet of entering the U.S., okay? But he said it will speed our ability to quickly remove those who do not qualify for protection. The order makes exception for those that have unaccompanied minors, victims of human trafficking, non-citizens with a valid visa or lawful permission. Now, the thing is that this goes into effect now, I think, at midnight. But this comes 6 months ahead of election. So he's obviously trying to save face now because he's losing terribly. Donald Trump is dominating in the polls, and literally they have no other choice other than take Donald Trump out. I mean, really, they don't. It's not going to happen. But even during this brief, and I'm going to show a clip here, but he mentions in his statement that he blames Donald Trump. Not even kidding. He blames Republicans. He blames Donald Trump. Now, what he fails to mention is that border package that they tried to approve that the Republicans would not sign off on sent more money to Israel and more money to Ukraine than it did the southern border and Taiwan as well. Of course, it was nothing to help our southern border. It was more money to be sent to foreign countries, right? America first, man. We need to spend our money here. Quit sending and funding foreign wars. We need to quit doing that. Anyhow, here's the Joe Biden talking about this.
So today, I'm moving past Republican obstruction and using the executive authorities available to me as president to do what I can on my own to address the border. Frankly, I would have preferred to address this issue through a bipartisan legislation because that's the only way to actually get the kind of system we have now that's broken, fixed, to hire more Border Patrol agents, more asylum officers, more judges. But Republicans have left me no choice. Today, I'm announcing actions to bar migrants who cross our southern border unlawfully from receiving asylum. But if an individual chooses not to use our legal pathways, if they choose to come without permission and against the law, they'll be restricted from receiving asylum and staying in the United States. This action will help us gain control of our border, restore order into the process. This ban will remain in place until the number of people trying to enter illegally is reduced to a level that our system can effectively manage. We must face the simple truth. To protect America as a land that welcomes immigrants, we must first secure the border and secure it now. The simple truth is there is a worldwide migrant crisis. And if the United States doesn't secure our border,
he barely can talk. It's crazy because the damage has already been done, guy. The damage is done. I don't know if you know this, but they're already trying to pass a bill where they're trying to change the electoral vote number in based on these migrants. Now, Elon Musk said that in the interview with Don Lemon, and Don Lemon was like, no. It's exactly what they're trying to do so that way they can flip the vote. Easy fix come November. They've already implanted the voters here. You got it. And they're even trying to pass where they can go vote. I mean, the damage is done. But he's trying to save face to the American public to seem like he's actually doing something. And there's going to be a lot more of that as you see coming into election cycle. But I do want to tell you something too, guys. Whenever mentioning my video on the quality, what they do is that they put it at the lowest level. Even when I go back and watch the video, if you go hit this, I think it's up here, or I think it may be this side, maybe it's this side, it's like the little gear, and you change the video quality and change it to at least 1080. Go to advanced where you change it yourself and change it to 1080 and you'll see the video clear. I don't know why, but they play my videos in the freaking lowest setting, so it looks all choppy and ugly. Where I see my friends when I watch their videos, they're filmed in high definition. I mean, they're playing in high definition. Anybody else I watch my videos, they play in the lowest quality, and I upload in the highest quality. It's absolutely crazy, but that's just part of the, I guess, plan to get you to not watch me. But anyway, guys, I do appreciate you hanging out with me. I do want to mention too that I have a few new products on the website. If you hadn't checked, I don't have them with me, but we have a stealth hammock, a camouflage hammock, very reasonable. It comes with straps, tree straps, and everything. I don't have one. I'll show later this week, but it's coming in summer. I always try to offer a hammock during summer. This is a very lightweight one, ultralight version. Before we made heavier duty ones, this is a very ultralight, and it's made for stealth. It's actual M81 camouflage. Before we tried to make the M81 camouflage, it just didn't turn out the way I wanted it. But this is a true M81 camouflage and very thin. We also have the titanium canteens back in stock with a new style carrier as well, and stove and utensils and such. So make sure you go pick those up. They probably won't last long. The canteens have already been selling quite well, but I just don't have any to show you at the moment. I'll show it later this week. But again, I want to know your thoughts on this. And man, if you're basing your whole self off who you sleep with, figure out something else that makes you you. You know what I mean? That doesn't have to be your identity, man. I don't make that my identity. Yeah, but it's crazy, and our governments are going absolutely bananas with this Marxist revolution trying to destroy us from within. Deb, thank you. Got your bracelets. Good deal. And your patch, right? Yep. Guys, I do appreciate it. And yeah, someone says they listen. That's really how we made the videos. Jaho is so you can listen, but sometimes we do show things, but it's more for listening. I know a lot of people listen to this on the way to work in the mornings because it's we do midnight, but a lot of people are early risers, so they just watch our videos in the morning. But guys, please leave a comment, like, share, and all those sort of things. Let's fight those communists that try to shut us down in order to stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. Take care.